OS Climate, Open Source Climate, is part of the Linux Foundation, which is the largest host of collaborative open source initiatives worldwide. We're applying this mature approach that has been the key to, for example, COVID vaccines developed very rapidly, and major innovations across many sectors, to the persistent challenges of closing the data gap, and providing the tools that give the insights that are needed to rapidly shift investment portfolios and corporate investment from a non-sustainable future to the pathways needed for net zero and resilience. This is being jointly built. It's basically like a co-op that is transparently governed, where our members, Airbus, BNP Paribas, Goldman Sachs, Allianz, Amazon, BNY Mellon, EY, Federated Hermes, the London Stock Exchange Group, Microsoft, the Net Zero Asset Owner Alliance, which has more than 10 trillion in assets under management and has made concrete commitments to reduce their portfolio investments, Ortec Finance, Red Hat, the largest open source software company in the world, and S&P Global are jointly putting in intellectual property, people, data scientists, developers, to close these data gaps and prepare the solutions they need more rapidly to shift to a net zero future. So there are many actors in the marketplace that are each pursuing different pieces of the puzzle, oftentimes competing against each other and actually preventing convergence toward the kinds of closing the data gaps, the kinds of convergence on methodologies to really implement net zero and resilience at scale. So Open Source Climate is the only initiative that is out there using the tried and true approach of community-based open source development in a nonprofit, transparently governed manner under the Linux Foundation, where the users and providers of technology can basically cooperatively build, pitch in intellectual property, people, data scientists, developers, and jointly build the pre-competitive layer that they all need and leap ahead to the solutions on top of that data and technology stack at lower cost, much faster. And so that's what we're offering. So we're developing a transparently governed, nonprofit, public utility of data and analytics, a data commons, which is a federated library of both of public sources, but able to join those together with a range of proprietary sources to provide all the inputs needed for then those decisionable metrics that are required by businesses for major investments, as well as for banks, asset owners, asset managers to act. The first of the suite of open source tools that then can be built on top of are first around transition analysis. So Airbus has developed and contributed through an open license a massive modeling platform for combining hundreds of models for understanding the transition to a net zero future and making the very large capital investments, R&D investments in fuels and airframes that are needed. Next, Allianz is developing the first in a series of alignment tools to realign their global portfolios to the targets that they have set as part of the Net Zero Alliance and GFANZ. And that will be available also for much better, more effective, detailed engagement with companies to make sure they're sticking with their transition plans. And then third, a project led by BNP Paribas on physical risk and resilience. So really understanding and pricing the risks and opportunities associated with how a range of different assets, factories, communities, real assets, infrastructure are going to face flood, fire, extreme heat in the future, and investing in the resilience needed to have those viable in the world going forward.